What's good, gentlemen? How you doing? This is Beard on Point, and today I want to talk about something a lot of you guys might have heard, or some of you have never heard, or some of you will hear. When a woman says love is not enough, I was watching this video about this girl talking about love is not enough, and she was yapping out, yapping, and I couldn't help but say, wait a minute, this will definitely not help any guy. When this girl is saying love is not enough, what she actually means to say, because typically a lot of times women are not aware of the subconscious reasons why they do stuff, and they will try to rationalize it logically. Oh, they know, but they will verbalize it in a manner that is socially acceptable because they're social facilitators. They always try to play to the audience or play to society, behave the way they're supposed to. So she won't say outright, I'm not in love with you, but you're in love with me or whatever. But generally, when she says love is not enough, what she means is that her level, the way she feels, her interest level is in you is low. She doesn't love you basically, because if her interest is low, she's not passionate, she's not interested, she doesn't think about you, she's not in love with you, she doesn't find you a challenge, she's not interested in being with you, she doesn't see a future with you. So that's another term. When you hear that, I don't see a future with you, related to love is not enough, they're related, right? It means her interest level is over here while yours might be over here or over here. So you want her more than she wants you, and she is more excited about somebody else. Remember, women are about their feelings, about how I feel right now, right? So right then and there, she may be feeling that she's not feeling you because you're not being challenging, you're not being confident, you're not being masculine, or you just going through a phase and she's lost interest or lost respect or whatever reason it may be. But at the end of the day, she wants you less than you want her, or she doesn't want you at all. She wants somebody else. Typically, it is a situation where she wants somebody else. So unless it's a really bad situation, then she'll leave regardless of whether it's somebody else or not. But that's more rare. But so anyway, so she's there and she's telling you love is not enough. That's what it means, guys. She's not interested in you. Her interest level is low. It's fallen over the years of your relationship. It's fallen over the months of your relationship. It's fallen over the year of your relationship. Whatever time frame you guys have been together, her interest level in being with you has fallen because you're not being a challenge, you're not being masculine, you're not being confident, and you yourself are not acting in a spirit of abundance. She doesn't feel there's enough drama in that relationship, which she relates to passion. She's not enough up and down. She doesn't feel excited. She feels it's monotonous. It's predictable. It's not exciting. A lot of different reasons why she's saying love is not enough. So when she says love is not enough, that's what she's talking about. But it's also related to those same to other statements. When love is not enough is practically the same statement as, for instance, as I said earlier on. What was the statement I said? Let me quickly double check here. For instance, it can be related to the statement, you're not a priority. Okay? So if somebody says you're not a priority, it means that you are not an object or an entity of interest or importance in my life. So basically, if somebody says you're not a priority, you're not important to me. In other words, you don't matter to me. In other words, love is not enough for you. In other words, I have no interest in you. In other words, it doesn't matter whether you stay or leave. Okay? In other words, frankly, you know what? If a woman tells you you're not a priority, dump her immediately. Dump her on the spot. You got no time for that, okay? I'm telling you that because from experience, I can tell you that if she's telling you you're not a priority, it means she's not interested in you. She's not even trying to keep you there. She doesn't feel your worth. There's any value or she doesn't feel there's any value to any effort. Basically, she doesn't feel there's a return. If I invest in him for what? She doesn't see you as a priority. She doesn't see you as fun, as exciting, as masculine, as a provider, whatever she's looking for. She doesn't see you as that. That's why she doesn't prioritize you, because she doesn't see a reason to do that. Because she doesn't value you, or you don't value yourself, that you always give her access to your time. You're not a challenge. And frankly speaking, you have let her hang around you for too long. She's gotten so used to you, she doesn't value you in any way. So the only other way to do it is just break up with her, You ain't got time to be sitting around somebody who doesn't value you, okay? Somebody who's not excited about you, somebody who doesn't run to be with you. So if that's the situation, guys, just get rid of the person. Just say, you know what? You don't, I'm not a priority. I understand. You know what? I think it's time to let this go. So you can focus on what is a priority in your life. And on top of that, it's also a time for you to deprioritize people who don't prioritize you. If I'm not a priority to you, then you're not a priority to me. And which means that there's no point in pretending we are in a relationship or we're dating or anything like that, because you know what? It ain't going nowhere. Your interest level in me is not high enough to give me any returns that are worthwhile my continued investment of time in you. So forget it. So if she says you're not a priority, love is not enough, it's the same thing. She's saying the same thing with different words. She's just not saying the crux of it, which is my interest level in you is low. Another thing she might say is, for instance, I don't see a future with you. So that means the same thing as love is not enough and you're not a priority. She doesn't see a future with you. Her interest level in you is not high enough. She doesn't see that changing anytime soon. Of course, that is always based on subjective. So she might see it that way, but of course, it's just a matter of if you knew what was going on and you knew what the problem is, you could change your behavior to change it up, but don't bother with that. My advice is if a girl tells you love is not enough, you're not a priority, and I don't see a future with you or whatever it is, let it go. Move on, bounce, go do the next thing in life, okay? You need to be with somebody who's excited about you, interested in you, and does think love is enough. And what that means is her interest level is high enough in you that she's willing to do what it takes to stay in your orbit, to stay in your life. And that means you got to be confident, you got to be masculine, you got to believe in abundance, so you got to be willing to walk away from her if she doesn't display behavior that is desirable to you or doesn't do things you want. You're on your purpose. That means you focus on making sure you move forward in life and get the things that you desire from life, and on yourself, improving yourself continually. You never stop doing that. And lastly, of course, that you're a challenge. You don't just give her your time. When she says, oh, I can't see you today, or every time she calls, you say, oh, okay, baby, I got time, and you run over there. No, you got things to do. You got things to do like gymming. You got things to do like working on your business. You got things to do like hanging out with some of your friends, because you know what? She's got to generate enough value for you to justify starting her into your schedule. And if she doesn't, it's time to let her go. And especially if she's saying any of these statements I just said to you, it's time to let her go, okay? It ain't worth it. You're just giving yourself stress. You're just prolonging the inevitable. They're gonna be guys that are gonna say stuff like, why don't you simply increase your mojo and make yourself more exciting and sexy? Listen, guys, it's a waste of time. There's so much energy involved in trying to convince a woman to like you or to want you that it's not worth it. You're better off going to find somebody who is interested and excited about you, whose interest level is really high, than wasting your time with somebody whose interest level is mediocre. You deserve high interest, not mediocre interest, high interest, because you're a valuable guy. And you cannot give yourself to the lowest paying person. For instance, I want to imagine yourself as a can of coffee in a store, and you've got 10 customers. Customer wants to pay $5. Another customer wants to pay $30. And there's another customer who wants to pay $1,000. Who are you going to sell your can of coffee to? It's the person paying $1,000, isn't it? It's the person who values the coffee the most that deserves to get it. It can't be the person who's willing to pay $5. They don't value the coffee. They don't deserve the coffee. So if somebody is telling you that their love is not enough or their interest level, whatever is not, listen, they're telling you that they're willing to pay $5 to get your coffee. Why waste time on that person when you know, when it's a fact, there's somebody else out there who's willing to pay $1,000 for the same can, right? You're better off saying, you know what? It's all good, thank you for your $5 offer, but I don't accept it. And you go on to the next person. Consider yourself to be on auction all the time when it comes to women. You're always on auction. And she pays with her attention and with the things she's willing to do to please you and to keep you. And if she's not willing to do anything to keep you, she's not willing to put any effort, she is the lowest bidder and does not deserve another moment of your time. So don't get confused, guys. I think the biggest fear is to walk away from somebody we've gotten an attachment to. But listen, you always deserve the best. And if the person you're with isn't acting like you are, you gotta let them go. You gotta let them know that, you know what, either you value this or I get somebody who does. Not trying to be cruel and mean, but I deserve the best and you deserve the person that you want to be with. So you go be with who you think is worthwhile putting the effort to go see and to do whatever it is to be around, who you consider is worthwhile respecting. That's why I wouldn't waste my time trying to get the interest level back up, unless only one condition where that would ever apply is you guys have a family, you got kids together, you live together, you got kids and all that. Then I would say try to fix it, because you do not want to damage those kids' futures, and at the same time you got too much invested in it that there is good reasons why you should try to save it first before letting it go. But if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, you don't even live together, you live by yourself, she lives by herself, she lives her own life, you live your own life, you know what? Let it go. Find somebody who does want to put in the effort. Find somebody who does value what you've got to bring to the table. And that's what it is. There's only one other instance I forgot to mention is when somebody says love is not enough. There's another situation in which a woman says that because she's not out for you. She's not in love with you, right? But at the same time, you don't provide any of the things that she desires. For instance, she's not in love with you, but you're not providing money, you're not providing holidays, you ain't providing the bag, you ain't providing any provider type stuff, you ain't helping her get paid, you ain't providing weaves, you ain't providing clothes, you ain't providing trips around the Alps in Switzerland or whatever. That's another situation in which she might say love is not enough, because that's what you're trying to offer her, which is love, and she ain't about that love. She's about the bag. So she's not in love with you, and you loving her is valueless to her. She's interested in the bag, and that's why love is not enough. So that's the one other situation or the other circumstance where this line applies to. Either she doesn't love you and she's not interested in you, or even if she has some interest in you, but she's about the bag, she'll still leave you for the bag because that's more important to her than you. All right, I hope that helps you to understand and navigate some issues that you see in relationships. And until next time, guys, do more, be more, become more on your purpose.